Hey, let's put some easy freezer meals together today. I have 4 easy dump and go freezer meals, but I'm gonna go a step further and I'm gonna also show you how to turn each one of these freezer meals into dinner. And if you follow Weight Watchers, I will be pointing out throughout the entire video how many points each item is, so you can calculate it into your app too. First up on the menu is buffalo chicken nachos. In a freezer bag, I have about, you can do 3 to 4 small skinless, boneless chicken breasts. I have 1 cup of buffalo wing sauce and 1 packet of ranch seasoning. I'm gonna mix this up with this chicken really quickly. Put this in the freezer until I am ready to cook it. And when I'm ready to cook this, I will show you how truly easy it is to make some buffalo chicken nachos. When you're ready to cook the chicken for the buffalo wing nachos, you just put everything right in the crock pot. Make sure you thaw this out overnight. I'm gonna set this on low and slow. You can cook this for 8 to 10 hours. So the chicken's cooked through, and I'm gonna take my little meat masher. I call it a meat masher. I'll have it linked below in case you want one. And I am just breaking up this chicken. I use chicken tenders instead of the chicken breast. I forgot that I had done that. When we are putting chicken into freezer bags, there's lots of times where we will separate the tenders from the chicken breast, and then I like to use those tenders for meals like this. After I've broken up this chicken, I am just gonna let it sit on warm because it is cooked through. To assemble these, and let me tell you, this smells so good from this crock pot. Oh my goodness, I think this is going to definitely be one of our favorites. So you put the chicken all over chips. If you're following Weight Watchers, this is a really simple meal to figure out your points. Chicken's free. The buffalo sauce is, I think it was like 2 tablespoons or something, is 2 points. So I would just figure in what you think is on your chicken. Mozzarella is what's gonna go on top of this. You can use fat-free, which is low point. And the chips, I'm using the lightly salted chips, which is, I think it was like 14 chips, 6 points is what it is. And you can adjust that on your app for however many chips that you can have that day. So you figure for about 10 points probably, you can have a really good helping of this buffalo chicken nacho. The mozzarella, you're gonna use 2 cups. I have my oven preheated to 400 and I'm gonna put this in there for 10 to 15 minutes. Oh my goodness, these are fresh out of the oven. They smell fantastic. Chopped up celery is for garnish to go on top of them. I also have some blue cheese crumbles or blue cheese dressing, so if anybody wants that, they can have that. On the side, I made up a really delicious little fruit salad. It has apples, strawberries, grapes, blueberries, and it smells fantastic. I have to tell you, these nachos were a huge hit here in our house. We will be having these on a rotation. They were so good. I am not a fan of massive spice. This did not have a lot of spice to it. It was perfect. It was delicious. I loved how I could just put the meat right on the chips, pop the whole entire thing with the cheese in the oven, and dinner was done. It toasted up the chips just right. My goodness, these were good. Now I'm gonna put together a pork chop meal. These are baked salsa pork chops. I have my pork chops in a freezer bag. It says to use 4. I have a couple more than that because, you know, my guys love pork chops. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper and salt to it, along with 1 cup of salsa and 1 can of green chilies. I'm gonna give this a really super good mix and get that salsa and green chilies into the pork chops. Now I use pork loin. If you follow Weight Watchers, salsa is 0 points, green chilies is 0 points. And for 3 ounces of pork loin, it is 4 points. At this point, if you want to freeze it, it's ready to go in your freezer. When I'm ready to prepare this, I will show you the steps to turn this into a meal. I have lightly sprayed a 9x13 pan. If you're only using the 4 pork chops, you can use a smaller baking dish. You let this thaw in the refrigerator overnight from the frozen state, and then you just put it in the sprayed pan. I have my oven heating up to 350, and these pork chops are only gonna cook for about 30 minutes or until they reach the right temperature. One of my sides is going to be rice. If you're following Weight Watchers, for half a cup of rice, it is 3 points. This is fresh out of the oven. I checked it with our meat thermometer. The temperatures are perfect, so I'm gonna let it cool just a little bit and we are going to serve it up. This is what my plate looks like. I went ahead and just mixed in the rice, chopped up the pork chops, and I'm gonna eat it like that. It smells really good. And then I have salad on the side with a tablespoon of fat-free dressing. It's amazing how you can just take a couple ingredients and turn it into a delicious meal. We love salsa chicken. I never thought about making salsa pork chops before, but I'm really glad I did. Me and my guys love a good hearty sandwich, and that is exactly what we are getting out of these Italian beef sandwiches. I have a 2-pound beef roast in my freezer bag, and I have added some salt and pepper to that. I've cut up a small white onion. I'm adding a teaspoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a jar of pepperoncinis. I'm gonna write the instructions on the bag and pop this in my freezer. As soon as I'm ready to cook this delicious meal, I will show you how it's done. After thawing out in the refrigerator overnight, or again, you can set it in warm water and let it thaw out in a sink or a bowl full of warm water. This is a crock pot meal. So I have sprayed the inside of my crock pot. I'm gonna pour everything into this insert. I'm gonna turn my roast over. Any fat, I will get that off after it's cooked through. I'm gonna put this on low and slow for the day, and it is going to cook for about 8 hours. I have about an hour left on the roast, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this shredded up right now. I did get the fat off from it, but anyway, I'm gonna get this shredded up. I'm gonna put it back in the juice and let it cook for another hour, and then it should be ready for us to eat. Okay, we have a few things to choose from. We have some chips, so you can make nachos out of the beef. We have some buns. I have provolone cheese set out. We have some guacamole, pico de gallo. Anybody want shredded cheese? We have that. So everybody's just gonna make their own thing, nachos or a bun. On the side, you could have salad, potatoes, whatever your heart's desire. I usually just make a roast meal out of roast. I don't go beyond that too much, but honestly, there's so much you can do with a roast. I'm glad I come across this recipe because it was really good. It was something different than just, you know, roast potatoes and carrots. I am excited to share this one with you. It is Italian pork chops. I have pork loin, or you can use chops, in the bag. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper, 1 can of diced tomatoes, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, teaspoon of minced onion, and a teaspoon of minced garlic. I'm gonna mix this up really good. Oh, and I always forget to put the instructions on the bag, but I do write the instructions on the bag. And then I'm gonna put these in my freezer, and when I'm ready to prepare it, I will show you how it's done. After thawing out the pork loin, you can thaw it out in warm water in your sink, or you can thaw it out in your refrigerator overnight. I have sprayed a 9x13 pan, and I have my oven preheated to 400. I'm gonna let this cook for 25 to 30 minutes. So this is dinner. You can have a salad on the side too. But we have some mashed potatoes, corn, the pork looks fantastic. And then I have these little dinner rolls that I picked up at Walmart. So that's what's for dinner tonight. We like to buy our pork loin at Sam's Club and cut it down. So just being able to do these 2 pork loin meals, turning them into chops, was perfect. We still have a little bit of pork loin left for a future meal, but my goodness, we thoroughly enjoyed this one as well. The book that I'm getting these recipes from is the Freezer Friendly Dump Dinners. I found this on Amazon. It was a Christmas present. I will have it linked below. This doesn't only give you suggestions of just dump and go type meals, it also gives you what you can use for side dishes, whether it be rice, salad, fruit bowls, and so on. Looking for more cooking videos? Well, I have 2 more right here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.